Good.
Wow, wonderful, fantastic morning to you, my wonderful viewers out there. Welcome to G9IJATV Newspaper Headlines with your host, Dr. Champion. How was the night? Hope you slept well. Hope you are enjoying your day like mine. Wow. Okay, quick one. I just want to talk about passion and ecstasy, two major ingredients for succeeding in whatever you do. What is ecstasy? Ecstasy simply means extreme joy. When you show so much excitement, joy, joy that cannot be explained, inner happiness. All right, you need to be ecstatic. And by extension, what then is passion? Passion is when you put total commitment lovingly into a particular effort, exercise, or activity. So when you are passionate about something, you do it happily, you do it joyfully, you do it passionately. Now, no one can succeed in something he's not passionate about. Whatever you want to achieve in 2024, you must add passion to your action. You must add passion to your intention. Don't forget that whatever you don't do joyfully, you will end up doing regretfully. Most times, the things that disturb us are the things we didn't put our heart to do wholeheartedly. They were not done wholeheartedly, they were done haphazardly. At the end of the day, they became crisis. So today, our motivational tip, our Champions Creed is all about passion, ecstasy. As you go out today, as you go out throughout the week, the remaining months of the year, please add passion to what you are doing. Someone said that passion is life. Passion is life. Be happy. Put a smile to your face. Put do things joyfully. Put a smile to your face. Make sure that you are happy doing what you are happy. Smile. Like we said before, smiling adds to your face value. Do you know that you don't give out a smile and it doesn't return back? So smiling is like a boomerang. When you send it out, it comes back to you. So just look at somebody and just smile. Just find a reason to be happy today. Regardless of what is going on in the country, regardless of what you're going through, the white man said, it is not what happens to us that counts. It is what happens in us that truly matters. It is not really what happens to us that counts. It's really what happens in us that really matters. Success is won inside out. Once you are not defeated in your mind, you cannot be defeated in your life. Defeat starts from the mind. And that's why even when somebody dies, they say he gave up the ghost. He gave up. Why did he give up? He gave up the ghost. So giving up is more or less a way of surrendering. It's an expression of defeat. It's an expression of surrender. So that's why when somebody has a strong willpower to live, there are more chances that he will likely succeed and live than someone who feels so negative, pessimistic about life. All right, so we just said that to encourage you from the G9IJATV TV family that please put a smile to whatever you're doing today. Make someone happy because of you. Do your job joyfully, happily, smilingly. If there's anyone like that. All right. With that said, we move forward quickly to top stories making the rounds on our newspaper headlines this morning. And the one that is most trendy is from the Daily Post. Electricity tariff hike. Nigerian government reveals next plan after protest of workers. Nigerian government reveals next plan after protest of workers. Now the news in detail. The controversy surrounding last month's electricity tariff hike is yet to fade as the Nigerian workers on Monday disrupted activities in the power sector, demanding its reversal. Daily Post reports that the organized labor picketed offices of all 11 electricity distribution companies and the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission NERC. In Abuja, the protest was led by G9IJATV, NLC president, to the Ministry of Power and NERC headquarters. Offices of Abuja Electricity Distribution Company were also shut down as workers were prevented from resumption. Similarly, they picketed the offices of the 11 discos in Kwara, Lagos, Kaduna, Plateau, Enugu, Sokoto, and other parts of the country. Ajero, during the picketing, said NERC should review its methodology for tariff increases in the electricity sector. He noted the tariff hike is a fundamental cause of the country's soaring headlines and food inflation, which stood at 33.2% and 40.01% in March. That is astronomical, if you ask me. In response to the organized labor's one-day protest, the Nigerian government has said that it's ready to negotiate with organized labor. A spokesperson for the Ministry of Power, Mrs. Florence Eke, in a telephone interview with Daily Post after workers crippled activities at the Ministry of Power, said the federal government, through the permanent secretary, Mr. Mahmuda, had convened a consultative meeting for the next week with organized labor and stakeholders to address the matter. Details of that can be seen in the Daily Post newspaper. Please get yourself a copy. And away from there, we move over to the Vanguard newspaper. The Vanguard newspaper has a very top story, which is Bad Law, Needless Levy by Dakuku Peter Sard. Bad Law, Needless Levy by Dakuku Peter Sard. Now in details. A few weeks ago, Nigerians were startled by legislation that had largely escaped public awareness. This legislation, which has since undergone substantial amendments, carries profound implications for the financial health of every Nigerian, sparking widespread controversy. The law raises several concerns regarding our legislators' rigor, effort, and dedication to enacting laws. The legislation, which is known as the Cybercrime Prohibition, Prevention, etc. Amendment 2024 Act, Section 44, Subsection 2, Subsection A of the Act, mandated a levy of 0.5% of all electronic transactions value by businesses specified in the second schedule of the Act, which includes GSM service providers and telecommunication companies, internet service providers, banks, and other financial institutions, insurance companies, and Nigerian Stock Exchange. To implement this law, the CBN on the 6th of May 2024 sent a circular to all banks and financial institutions in Nigeria to charge a cybersecurity levy starting from the 20th of May 2024 on electronic transactions by customers, bearing a few exemptions. Industry watchers have claimed that the government aim to earn about 2 trillion naira per annum, judging by the over 600 trillion naira values of all such transactions in 2023 last year. This caused an uproar in the country, and most civil society organizations, private sector businesses, labor organizations, and concerned Nigerians used all the media available to them to voice their condemnation of this imprudent law. The banks and other mandated institutions are to collect the levy and remit it monthly to a designated fund, National Cybersecurity Fund, at the CBN for transmission to the Office of the National Security Advisor, ONSA. The fund's stated primary purpose is to provide financial resources for fighting cybersecurity crimes in Nigeria. Something fishy about the law in details. There are many things wrong with this levy, beyond the fact that Nigerians are discontented with government and non-governmental levies and fees plaguing the living light out of them. Some have argued about the interpretation of the law by CBN that the transactions to be charged should be on the businesses mentioned in the Act, not their customers or Nigerians. Others have questioned why this law created and signed into law in 2015 by the Jonathan administration haste to implement it now, especially given the harsh economic conditions occasioned by good-intentioned policies that have had a devastating impact on Nigeria. The argument on timing is germane given the level of inflation and the devastating degradation of the value of the naira, and by extension, the purchasing power of Nigerians. Some still argue about the increasing focus of government to use tax as a significant economic policy for revenue generation, especially in an increasingly volatile economic climate where productivity is low and businesses are shutting down because of increasing cost of doing businesses, ranging from the cost of labor, cost of energy, and cost of raw materials. My take on this anchor on the morality behind the levy, given Nigeria's social contract with the state, procedural antecedents in institutional revenue collection from the government, the burden on Nigerians on financial transaction-related charges, and imperfections of our legislative processes. The pertinent question is, why should Nigerians who pay personal and business taxes pay for security in whatever guise or nomenclature? Whether cybersecurity, physical security, or any form of security, it is the Nigerian's government exclusive and primary responsibility, which is why we pay tax to the government. Under the social contract between Nigerians and the state, we accept and give out our rights, especially the right to security of our lives, to the state, and expect the state to protect us by whatever means necessary. The state provides its security infrastructure, architecture, and personnel to provide security for all. The government singling out an aspect of security and leveling citizens to pay for it is tantamount to double taxation when we already pay income tax, and allow the government income from our natural resources to provide this service. These are questions and more which we are talking about, and we'll continue to raise issues and concerns which the government needs to look at. Okay, still on that, unbundling security and taxing some is a prelude to other security tax forms. Should we expect a banditry levy, terrorist levy, or armed robbery levy soon? The reason why we're taking time to explain all of this is that we expect our wonderful viewers to please go to our comment section, engage G9IJATV. We shall definitely respond to your messages. Keep your messages coming in the comment section. Ask questions, give your views. Sometimes we'll have to read out your comments here so that we can have an interplay. We can have it to be an interactive session between you, our wonderful viewers, and we here that are serving you the information. The second question is, when did the Office of the National Security Advisor become a revenue generating and collecting center? The Nigerian state has explicit provisions for regulatory agencies or public enterprises that provide public goods and services. The Office of the NSA is not such and does not have that mandate. The third issue is why the National Assembly members were screaming at the top of their voices against this law when the same body amended it. Does this mean that they did not understand the law they passed? Or is it that the law was amended and passed without the knowledge of many members passing through the due process? Is the interpretation of the law by Central Bank of Nigeria not in tandem with the intentions of the lawmakers? Is there a problem with framing the law caused by language failure? Did the framers mean online or electronic transfer fee or levy? It would be easier for the public to understand the levy if it had come outright as a transaction levy, because many people cannot link their electronic transaction and cyber security levy. Where is the cyber security in transferring legitimate money? The law does not resonate with many Nigerians of average means and education, and they cannot link their everyday transactions to cyber security. Wow, what an interesting headline. Please go to our comment section, drop your comments. That will be very interactive. We will definitely respond to your comments. Let's know what you think about the cyber security levy, and of course, what advice you would like to give to the government. And away from there, we move to the Vanguard newspaper with a bold headline: INEC gives 18 parties May 20 deadline to nominate candidates in Ondo State. I take that again. INEC gives 18 parties May 20 deadline to nominate candidates in Ondo State. And away from there, we have the Punch newspaper. Rivers crisis, why Wike is playing God, according to Asari Dokubo. Rivers crisis, why Wike is playing God, according to Asari Dokubo. And the Nation newspaper has this bold headline: Rivers government, lawmakers flex muscles over assembly quarters. Rivers government lawmakers flex muscles over assembly quarters. And away from there, we move to the Daily Trust. President Tinubu bans purchase of petrol-dependent vehicles, other use of non-petrol vehicles. President Tinubu bans purchase of petrol-dependent vehicles, others use of CNG-powered automobile. Quickly, the news in detail. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed the mandatory purchase of compressed natural gas-powered vehicles by all government ministries, departments, and agencies. The government gave this directive. The government gave this directive. It said that the directive is in furtherance of country's effort to transition to cleaner energy, as CNGs enables vehicles have been adjusted to produce lower emissions, even as they present a more affordable alternative for Nigerian energy consumers. Recently, the Minister of Finance, Wale Edu, took a tour of the factory where the CNG vehicles were being put together and promised that the vehicles will soon be rolled out. The minister also said the benefits of the vehicles shall be will be made available to all Nigerians. Details of that can be seen in this newspaper, the Daily Trust. Please grab yourself a copy to understand more about that. And we move over to the Premium Times Nigeria. Premium Times Nigeria, Obi meets Atiku, Saraki, Lamido. I think that's trending also on social media and on different media platforms. Now the news in detail. Obi meets Atiku, Saraki, Lamido. In a statement following the meetings, the spokesperson of Labour Party presidential campaign, Tanko Yunusa, said Mr. Obi visited Mr. Atiku, Saraki, and Lamido to discuss something very private, but for the interest of Nigerians. He said they met privately in Abuja on Monday. The presidential candidate of Labour Party met with Atiku, Saraki, and Lamido to discuss the state of the nation, according to Tanko Yunusa, who is the spokesperson of Labour Party presidential campaign. Tanko Yunusa. He said Mr. Obi visited Atiku, Saraki, and Lamido to discuss the state of the nation. The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in the 2023 election, Atiku Abubakar, and his Labour Party counterpart Peter Obi met privately in Abuja on Monday. Atiku, a former vice president of Nigeria, posted photos of himself with Mr. Obi during the meeting on his X handle. It was my honor and privilege to host at Mr. Obi today, he wrote. The Mr. Obi also held a meeting separately with former Senate President Bukola Saraki and former governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido. In a statement following the meeting, the spokesperson for Labour Party presidential campaign, Tanko Yunusa, said Mr. Obi visited Tinubu, Saraki, and Lamido to discuss the state of the nation. The LP campaign spokesperson explained that the visit was also touched on the sufferings of Nigeria. The LP campaign spokesperson explained that the visit also touched on the sufferings of Nigerians. So primarily also, they also looked at the hardship of Nigerians. He also said the politicians discussed the worrisome situation in the northern parts of the country. Worried about the state of the nation, the increasing uncertainty in the living conditions of the poor and underprivileged, Obi in Abuja on Monday visited some top Nigerians. Among them are former vice president and PDP presidential candidate in 2023 election, Atiku Abubakar, former Senate President, Senator Bukola Saraki, and the former governor of Jigawa State, Alhaji Sule Lamido. At the center of discussion during each of these visits was the state of the nation and how to reduce the suffering of all Nigerians, irrespective of class and location. In particular, the desperate condition of the downtrodden in our midst was highlighted. Of particular interest and emphasis in these discussions was the worrisome situation in the northern parts of the country. The statement said, Mr. Obi, a former governor of Anambra State, was Atiku's running mate in the 2019 presidential election on the platform of PDP, the People's Democratic Party. Mr. Obi exited the PDP in a build-up to 2023 election and joined the Labour Party, where he was elected as the candidate of the party for the presidential aspirant for the presidential election. Atiku and Mr. Obi came second and third in the election, which they lost to President Bola Tinubu. They challenged the result of the election in court, but also lost. Okay, and this is where we come to an end for newspaper headlines this morning. What is your take on Peter Obi's visit to Atiku Abubakar? Please leave your answers in our comment section. Do you see a merger? Do you see a coalition? Do you see a mega party coming up as a strong force in 2027 to challenge the current strongest party, the All Progressive Congress, APC? Only time will tell. Do you see Mr. Obi becoming the president of another political party outside Labour Party? Only time will tell. Do you think Alhaji Atiku Abubakar will step down for Peter Obi to have the presidential candidate position, or for the vice president to be given to maybe whoever is also qualified for that seat? And if you don't think so, please join us at the comment section. We'd love to hear from you so that we can make this more interactive and you can be part of the family. Thank you for watching G9IJATV News Headlines this morning with Dr. Champion. And please stay with us, same time, same station, same channel, same day, same hour. Bye for now.